I hope everyone is attending. I hope you had a good day today. My name is Robin Kandia. Good morning, and working with Hi-CAD Africa as an AAC technical support specialist. And for those guys who have subscribed for this webinar, they'll be getting Sketchup Pro for 10% off. So basically, at Hi-CAD Africa, we offer design, drafting, and visualization workflow training services. And we are also the only authorized Trimble Sketchup resellers in Kenya. So today's webinar is focused on Sketchup for various industries. So basically, think of it this way. As a designer, you need to basically create drawings, and those drawings are to communicate your designs. And also sell your design to the client and communicate as well as to the contractors. So you can all agree that we basically, all of us need these drawings, and there are basically several ways to get there. You can either draw with a pencil or trace, but it's really tedious, especially when you're working with deadlines, which is basically a norm with designers. So we had to jump from manual 2D drafting to 3D CAD, basically to computer-aided design, which is CAD drafting. And it does afford us a lot of efficiencies, especially with blocks and X-ray, but it's basically a digital drafting table. But that was around 20 years ago, and so we had to make another leap into 3D CAD drafting. And it's been to my observation that the options which have been presented by other CAD software solutions have been far too complicated. So what I'm going to discuss today is a better way to design with SketchUp. So first thing you'd want to ask yourself is what is SketchUp? So basically SketchUp is, I'm sure you guys are familiar with some way, so in a way familiarized yourself with SketchUp. Either you've seen someone using it or you've basically used it before. So it's basically a program that is used by a wide range of 3D modeling projects, from architectural, interior, landscape architects, and so forth. Also video game design. So many video companies, game designers are currently using SketchUp. Also, the program includes drawing layouts functionalities, and also surface rendering. It supports also third-party plugins from the extension warehouse. It's basically a very intuitive software to use. It's good with most industries. It's easy to use. People say that place the world's most popular 3D design application in your partner's hands, and so they are free to create and collaborate and also to deliver. Now, before we begin, we need to understand the SketchUp ecosystem, which is basically what makes SketchUp unique in its own way. So let's just take a quick look at some of the tools which are included within the SketchUp during installation. So at the top left part, we have a layout, which is normally used for documentation and annotation of SketchUp models. So normally what you do, you just take a model that you created on SketchUp, be it from a base plan or basic 3D models, and you move it to layout. That's where you do most of your documentation. It has a lot of documentation tools, annotation tools. So you can go that extra mile to have a perfect drawing using layout. Another one is the 3D warehouse. I don't know how I can insist on this, but this is the world's largest library of 3D models that you can ever come across to. So it contains quite a number of tools that you can use. I normally joke and tell guys, if you want to know how powerful it is, you can just go and search anything. Let's say Heart, and you'll get it available on the 3D warehouse. You also have the style builder. This enables you to create and customize edge styles for your SketchUp models. You also have the extension warehouse. Basically, it authors hundreds of third-party SketchUp plugins that are normally made by developers across the world. If you're interested in programming, you can just subscribe and try to make your own basic programs to make your work easier. So under our subscription, there's a SketchUp Pro. So this is what we'll be talking about today. There are other versions for SketchUp that you can use. There's SketchUp Shop. It's free, but you won't be able to access most of the things in the extension and 3D warehouse. And there's SketchUp Pro. So this is the industry standard across, because it cuts across the architectural discipline, the engineering. So you can do a lot with SketchUp Pro. There's also SketchUp Studio. Now, the difference between the two, it's for SketchUp Studio, it's that it has Sapphire included in it. We'll talk about Sapphire when you move on. And SketchUp Pro doesn't include that in its pricing. So it's a good software. You can still use it to do most of the things. It's very intuitive in regards to designing. You can be able to document and communicate your ideas in 3D. It's simple to use, as I said earlier on, and you can easily start anything from base import plans to modeling your own conceptual designs from scratch. So don't be shy, join our world of wonder and enjoy the benefits of SketchUp Pro, which will offer you. It's included in, you have a Mac version and also a Windows version, which is very intuitive. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is layout. So as I said earlier on, layout is a tool for creating documentation from your SketchUp model. So you basically start your SketchUp, a model from SketchUp, draw your project and create scenes. And to basically, this process will enable you to show different views. And you can also send the files into layouts, add dimensions. So it's pretty easy, add labels and other texts. And also photos or whatever thing that you want to basically communicate throughout your design process on from SketchUp. So you can also import a PDF and can actually do a lot. There's a dynamic link maintained from SketchUp model to layout document. So that you can be able to edit the SketchUp model, and those changes can be shown in layout docs. So it's pretty intuitive, no need to keep on going back and forth. So there's that dynamic link that enables you to at least move easily onto layout. So one thing I like about SketchUp is the 3D warehouse. I don't know how much I can insist on this. So it's the 3D warehouse is basically a website of searchable pre-made 3D models that work seamlessly with SketchUp. So the 3D warehouse is a tremendous resource and basically an online community for everyone who creates and uses the 3D models. So we have about over 4 million people search through the models. Okay, no, sorry for that. You have over 4 million available models and about 23 million users every year. So that's quite a huge number of people who visit that site. And you can also import some geometry directly from the 3D warehouse into Sketchup. You can get, some objects are actually BIM integrated. So some companies, let's say here, not every company has done that, but let's say Victoria Furniture, we can talk to them so that they can be able to place some of the furnitures and uh, some objects that they have, so that interior designers can use it, can use them. So it's very good with interior designers, also landscape architects, also engineers. So you'll get quite a number of objects from the extension the 3D warehouse. So the extension warehouse is one of the most important parts of SketchUp. So it's a depository of add-ons that can be used to enhance the features of SketchUp. It continues to grow with the contribution of developers worldwide who normally write small plugins and also share them on the site. With this, you are able to search for over about 400 free paid extensions, paid and free extensions, and also find tools. You can also search tools via industry standards. Let's say you want architectural tools, you can just search in and you'll be able to find them all. Also engineering tools. So you can also be able to explore parametric design rendering tools, and also estimation and much more. So some people think that SketchUp is limited in a way because you won't be able to generate BIM intelligent objects. But with the extensions, this is very applicable. You can easily generate whatever thing you want, from estimates to energy analysis, whatever thing you'd think about. So our next one is for those guys who are into, sorry about that, just a second. Now, for those guys who are into, who are mindful about early stage analysis, Sapphire is the tool for you. So it's already included in SketchUp Studio. So for those guys who are interested in this, SketchUp Studio is the tool for you. You can be able to analyze energy use, do daylighting, thermal comfort, and HVAC systems during conceptual and schematic design stage. You can intelligently inform design using data-driven insights. You can also be able to drive consensus and steer your team towards better performance. So you have all these tools at the tip of your hand, and you can do a lot with them. So you have we have the desktop app and also one that is hosted on the cloud, as you can see. So it's very intuitive with energy analysis. So our next tool is Trimble Connect. So here I have an overview video of how one uses Trimble Connect. So this is basically an information sharing and collaboration service for construction projects. Basically, it is collaboration that works for you rather than you having to work to collaborate. So basically, as you know, a lot of time and money is lost each year from the lack of streamlined interoperability between project stakeholders. So this is basically the tool for you. Let's just wait for the video to play as I explain what's going on through the whole process. So yeah, as I said, it's a collaboration that works for you. So yeah, a lot of time and money is lost each year from the lack of streamlined interoperability between project stakeholders. the effort is better spent on improving design and construction processes that deliver better product and owners. And also a lot of different softwares are needed to deliver this. So this is a typical information of how this is done. So information is passed from the project stakeholders to another, let's say from one project stakeholder to another via drawings. So this is the traditional way of how things were done. And you have so many tools that you need to use. So you can see that you can use Rhino, AutoCAD, SketchUp, quite a number, Revit. You can also do Excels and so forth. So in the ecosystem, you have Trimble Connect connects with so many third-party softwares. You have Tekla, you have Winest, SketchUp. So it cuts across all through the construction industry. And as I said, you have the desktop app and the web app and also the mobile app. So for mobile, it's pretty intuitive because you can get a hold of anything you want to see in your project wherever you are. So when you're sitting in your car, you can be able to get whatever you want. If you're at home and you weren't able to get to the office, you can be able to do that. So here we have a drawing. You can see that it's basically showing the process how you'd share this drawing on the Trimble Connect. So you can choose which discipline you want, or you can just go ahead and publish. So it's being published onto the architecture discipline. So here you have another side where you have the civil engineer basically having his work, and you can integrate the two sides from the civil engineering side to the architect's side. So you can merge these two drawings easily. You can see here that the drawing has already been placed, so it's very easy to work with. So you can see here it's trying to export, so for exporting for all. So it's pretty easy to use. What I like about SketchUp is that it's anyone can learn it, and people don't have time to learn complicated software. So this is for you, for that engineer or architect who doesn't have enough time and is working consistently on other projects. This is a tool for you, because at least you'll be able to spend much more time working on important things, and spend less time at least with learning the software. So you can also add revision clouds, as you can see. It's interactive. It's online. You can add text, whatever you want to make changes on the project, and that person can be able to see. You can also add dates in order to do all that, and you can publish it. So be it that person who is on site, from the foreman, you can be able to get this information and know that some change was made. So let's say you have a foreman who's working with a tab or a phone on site. He can be able to see that some changes have been made on my model, and I need to correct whatever that I had done earlier on. So yeah, it's and you can see also here, it's now with you can take objects from Tekla also and merge them together from IS sections and everything onto your model. So it has that interoperability between different versions of softwares. So I'll just leave you guys to at least get a sense, a feel of how the software does work with the various disciplines that are available. So even for the surveyors who normally use theodolites and everything to look for scanned data, you can just integrate it with Trimble Connect in order to get all this information. So another tool is the SketchUp viewer. Now, for those guys who are into presentation, I'm assuming that that's the architects. So basically, this presentation is for all the designers. I'm not only focusing on the architects. I'm also focusing on engineers, the MEP guys. But I'll be covering each section slowly by slowly. So this part is for those architects who want to express their work in a good way. So this normally it's work on the go. Nowadays, work doesn't happen exclusively at the office anymore. So you normally sign off on changes. You can also collaborate with remote colleagues and get work done in today's world. So this is the tool for you. It's a SketchUp viewer. It's you can do you can do visual projects. You can also uh, explain your projects better in a visual way. And there's also the VR. You can do augmented reality on the same. So I'll be covering that in a few. So you can step aside, you can step like inside your project with AR and VR viewer apps and basically solve problems before you even break the ground. So before you move to the site, this is an early stage software. Before you move on site, you can be able to at least get a feel of how your project is and at least make intuitive decisions of some of the things that are there. So, as I said earlier, there's a SketchUp viewer for SketchUp Viewer XR. So, basically step into the 3D and see the project in its physical environment. So, the viewer AR enables you and your client to experience your project just the way you would after construction. So, at least this can help you a lot with clients. It will win you a lot of work. And it is very intuitive. It's a new technology, so it's a game changer in the industry. Not so many like software companies are really focusing on this. So you can take full advantage of this. So and there's also the mobile app that you can use to basically see things. Uh, so it's at least you'll get to work from whichever point that you are on. So yeah, so this is the same video for the Trimble Connect. So I won't really be playing it. So other than that, that's basically the SketchUp ecosystem. Other than that, the most important part is now, the other most important part is the extension warehouse. So let's take a look at some of the SketchUp extensions. I'm sure you guys have already familiarized with the extensions. So these extensions are basically plugins created by third-party developers. So that they are industry specific. There are also some industry specific extension, and they can transform SketchUp into a powerful tool, basically tailored to construction workflows. So let's just take a quick dive into some of the plugins that you have. So I'm sure that most people who have used SketchUp before have somehow struggled with modeling complex profiles in a way. So Profile Builder is your solution. So it is fast and flexible, basically used for parametric modeling for SketchUp. So here is an overview of how the station is used. So let's just take a look at the video. So here you can see that they have a railing, basically. You can easily select the parts and just look for which type of, and basically draw all your railing throughout. So once you have a profile, you can generate the profile all through just by simple clicks. It's very easy to use. So these extensions can really help you at least solve problems in a faster rate, because at the end of the day, you need that time to impress your client and also to look for more work to do. So yeah, this is a tool for you in regards to that. It easily picks up a project. So you can see here, you just have a profile and you click on the edges, automatically that profile attaches itself to the edges. Here you have an example of a bridge. So you can populate all through onto another surface, on another plane, the same process. So it's very powerful, and again, it's very easy to use. You won't have to struggle a lot. So for those guys who are dealing with bridge design, you can also use this. For the infrastructure guys, I'm sure most of them haven't explored SketchUp. Most of the people who normally use SketchUp are architects. So if you have any questions, you can just write them in the Q&A, and I'll be able to answer them as I move on. For those that I won't be able to answer, I'll send you an email. I already have your contact, so it will be easy to follow up in some mails. So our next tool is the Quantifier Pro. So basically, SketchUp hasn't left the quantity surveyor behind. He can now easily do instant quantity and cost reports directly from SketchUp using Quantifier Pro. So it does reports automatically and also updates the model changes. It's fully customizable. And basically it's quite easy to use. For this one, I don't have like an overview video of how it's supposed to be used, but I'll be sharing some information on it on your email addresses if you guys are interested, that is. So you can instantly see the total length, area, volume, and also the weight and cost of your materials. So it's a game changer in the quantity surveying industry, and also for contractors who would want to know the exact estimates of materials, take-off materials for their projects. Another tool is 3scan. I'm not quite sure of how to pronounce that name, but I'm sure most of you guys are proper with English. So this is, if you're an engineer, planner, HVAC installer, or pipe fitter working in the building and technology industry, then 3scan is the best option for you. It's basically an innovative and intuitive engineering software for SketchUp. So it does HVAC design, pipe fitting, wastewater, oil, semiconductor, and solar, basically solar panels, and much more. So for those guys who think that they won't be able to do their MEP works on SketchUp, this is the tool for you. You can be able to go full force with this. So for those guys who want to, for contractors, this is for contractors who are working on like massive projects. So not even massive projects, but even up to simple project. So ScafMax is basically a simple and fast scaffolding planning software. It enables you to dynamically integrate SketchUp 3D models with it. You can be able to automatically create reports. It's fully customizable, and yeah, it's plain easy to use. No need to struggle with it. So you can just come up with scaffold systems with a few clicks. And basically it can help you in early stage design planning for your models. It's very, very intuitive. Let's just take a look at how it's used. So you can see you're in the SketchUp environment. SketchUp has a very friendly interface. It's anyone can use it, from kindergarten kids. So it's just push pull, and at least you get to generate some geometry out of it. So it's good with conceptual design at the conceptual design stage. So assuming you have basically such a model, you can easily come up with scaffolds. You can easily generate scaffold systems using the extension. So let's say, let me just wait for it. So if you right click, after installing it from the 3D warehouse, then you right click, you get to have all these options that you can use. So it's written in another language, but I'm sure you guys can get to understand how the processes for doing all this is easy. So let's just take a quick look at how you can be able to generate all these things. And the good thing with extensions, they're pretty easy to use. It doesn't take that long to really understand what's going on. So if you just take your short time, just go over the extension on either YouTube, or you can also follow our website. We normally do a lot of videos on this from our YouTube page. So if you just take a look at some of the extensions and how they are being used in the industry, you'll be able to understand, and you'll be able to easily integrate them in your workflows while you're using SketchUp. You can see it's very good while for planning. With these systems, you can just easily create them on site once you have the drawings, and at least it will help the contractor in communicating of how he'll be able to plan out throughout the construction process. So yeah, it's pretty intuitive. Um, and you can see it's fully integratable in the SketchUp environment. So yeah, this video just goes on and on explaining how the process is. So I can be, because of time, I won't be able to like, play all of it. So let's just move to the next extension. Then if you guys need extra information on the same extension, just can either give me a call or just email me. So my email address is there, robin at hi-cad.co.ke. So, and also you can visit our website, which is www.hi-cad.co.ke. So you can get all this information there. So for again, for early stage designing, um, you have the 4D virtual builder. So this plugin is developed for those of you who need to work on basically on large projects like urban planning or stage designing. Its features enable these kinds of projects to be easily managed. So you can perfectly do early design phases. It has a dynamic link with 3 major planning tools. So it's suitable for site management also. For the project managers, this is the tool for you. It's just an extension in within SketchUp that you can get your free time and just try it out. So these tools, you can just get them easily and try them out, see how powerful they are. So it's a powerful, it's also a powerful engine based on BIM objects. So at least the objects that you'll be using there, it's not like they're just plain meshes or basically masses. they're BIM intelligent, at least you'll be able to work with BIM intelligent tools. So with this one, you can be able to generate Gantt diagrams, add timeliners onto your project. So all that you'll be able, and it's also IFC compatible with other softwares. At times, moving from conceptual design to schematic design in Revit might be really difficult, as one has to draw everything from scratch. So with Helix, you don't have to go all through that trouble. You can easily convert SketchUp faces and components to Revit walls, doors, and windows. So I'm sure most of you guys who have used SketchUp before have had that challenge when it comes to uh, modeling these things. So just a second. Yeah, so I'm sure in a way you guys have experienced such challenges. So it's very, very easy to use. At least you won't have to struggle a lot with modeling. So allow me to just quickly share my screen on another window so that you'll be able to see how this tool can be utilized to do your models. So you can see it's easy to generate. So you're basically importing from SketchUp onto Revit. So Revit is another very, very powerful tool. We also authorized Autodesk resellers that deal with Revit. For trainings in regards to that, also you can visit us. With this one, you can easily, intuitively at least come up with different basically come up with parametric models onto that. So just a second, let me share again my screen. So yeah, with Helix, you can be able to simply move from SketchUp to Revit easily into the Revit interface. So at least conceptual and schematic design will be easy to do with this. So I'm sure you guys have had some difficulties when trying to import Google Maps images from Google Maps to any of the softwares that you normally use, either be it Revit, be it SketchUp. So with SketchUp, there's an extension that can easily work when importing 3D geometry for buildings, be it the cars, be it trees. So all that, it normally takes from OpenStreetMaps. It normally takes objects from OpenStreetMaps. So you can be able to at least do 40 hours work in around 4 minutes just by populating throughout your design. So it's quick to use. It has the full potential for detail and it's easy to use. So it's a very popular extension for SketchUp. So yeah, it basically lets you import 3D building images, massing images, and also roads and walk surfaces. It has a high resolution of aerial views. You can be able to also see the trees, water, and much more. It's really good for early stage design, and it's also mainly used for urban planning. It's basically global data for cities and towns around the world. Now, for photorealistic rendering, one can utilize the power of Enscape. It's a commercial real-time rendering and virtual reality plugin. It is mainly used in the AEC industry. So yeah, it's very powerful. You can see from some of the videos that are available. It's really powerful, intuitive, and it's a good workflow for designers. So it's pretty simple, not difficult to use at all. Uh, so it's good for interior designers, landscape architects, and also at least the models that are available, it takes a very short period of time to use. I don't know how many guys here are using it, but you can be able to use it in Revit, Sketchup, Rhino, so all those platforms. Um, the last release for SketchUp 2020 didn't have that option, but now it's enabled. So in SketchUp 2020.2, you can be able to use Enscape easily, and it's real time. It doesn't take a lot of time to work on the models, so it's pretty simple and easy to use. So you can also do static imaging and animations, and also panoramas. You can also connect directly on a VR headset in order to have a virtual experience on your model. So another tool is Trimble Scan Explorer. For those guys who are normally do a lot of renovation as-built projects, this is a tool for you. It's a very intuitive. It dramatically reduces the time required to generate a SketchUp Pro 3D model from scan data. It normally uses point cloud, so it's streamlined. It's a streamlined tools which allows users to quickly extract construction points and lines that are used as a guide to simplify and expedite the modeling process. So you can do automated plane extractions tools, and it's basically particularly needed when modeling building interiors and facades. So here is an overview video of how this information is taken from scan data, and at least you can quickly model all these items in your basically SketchUp environment. Once you have all the information that you want in regards to the model, you can at least come up with different designs uh, in a more intuitive and faster way. So as it's playing, I think I'll be winding up at that point. So again, if you need more information on the services that we provide, you can visit our website. For those guys who have already registered for this webinar, you'll be getting SketchUp Pro at 10% off. It's normally at $299. So you'll be able to get all these softwares for you'll be able to get a SketchUp Pro at a at a reduced rate of 10% off, and at least you'll be able to explore all these extensions which you can easily get from the extension warehouse in order to at least make your work easier. So for training services, we normally offer on-site and online training services, but currently due to the pandemic, we'll be scheduling some online training. So if you guys are interested, just let me know, and we'll be basically doing the trainings once in a while in regards to that. So our trainings are very flexible. Once you register for our trainings, you'll be able to at least learn at your comfort, whichever time that you want. Yeah. So this tool is pretty easy to use, straightforward, and Oh, yeah. Now it's the question Q&A time. So if you guys have any questions, just write them. I'll quickly answer them if it's possible. And also for the ones that I won't have time to answer, I'll just take my time and just respond to them on via your email addresses. So I don't know if there are any questions. Um, for those guys who are interested in this SketchUp Pro, you can send us an email in regards to that. Okay, let me take a look to see if there are any questions. Okay. There's someone who's asking here if between V-Ray extension and Inkscape extension, which one is better in rendering? So I'd say in a way this is a this is a very sensitive topic, but according to me, I prefer Inkscape for basically rendering. So both of them can produce really realistic renders, photorealistic renders. But at least SketchUp, Inkscape is much easier to use, and it's at least it's on time. You won't take a lot of time producing your render. So basically, that's why I prefer it. But it doesn't mean that V-Ray is not as powerful. It's also very powerful, and you can still use it for your renders if you're comfortable with it. That is. Okay. Some plugins are free. So I'm seeing someone is asking if the plugins I've talked about are free. Some are free, some aren't. But you can just take your time, go through them, see some of them that are free. Some are available for trial, 30-day trial that you can get a hold of. And some are completely free. So it's a matter of you trying to explore which ones are free. Yes, it's very possible to get the video for this webinar, and also the videos that was showing you guys for the individual plugins that are available. For projects, I'm seeing someone is asking if do you have to draw doors and windows for every project? It's not a must. That's why the 3D warehouse is available. So you have a variety of doors and windows that you can choose from the 3D warehouse, and you can just basically load them into your project. But if you don't like a certain door or window, you can just create your own, and you can go that extra mile by making your door window parametric. So I hope more questions are coming. Any more questions? Don't be shy. Just ask anything that you want to know about the software. I can see most guys have a very positive feedback like that. Keep the questions coming. Now, for those who are interested in the SketchUp Pro software, just send us a mail for the offer. The the offer is it doesn't last long, but for the early birds, it will be very possible to purchase with the 10% off. So seeing someone here is asking, Martin Tairo, what are the minimum system requirements for a computer that will possibly have architectural drawing software and SketchUp with some of the plugins like those for rendering. So with plugins for rendering now, you need at least a computer that has a graphics card. But if it's just simple drafting, you at least need the most minimum is a 4 GB RAM storage, and also a hard drive of around 500 GB in order to at least do the most minimal design. The ideal one is around 8 GB RAM with a storage of 500 GB. And the best option that you have, it's around 16 to 32 GB RAM and 1 TB hard disk for this. But you also need a graphics card if you're doing renders, if you're doing photorealistic renders and animations. So for Sketchup Pro, it's a subscription license. So it's you'll be paying yearly, but it's as compared to pricing for other softwares, it's pretty cheap. It's $299 per year, and now you can get it currently at 10% off. So it's a good deal in regards to that. So okay. Again, for SketchUp, it's a subscription. The 299. Okay, just the 299. It's a subscription license. So by subscription, it's not like it's like you're renting the software. It's not like the owner of the software. So each year, it's you have to pay the 299, but it has its own benefits. At least you will have maintenance of the software each time. Sorry, I think I kind of got it all wrong. So the 299, it's a perpetual license. You'll be paying $12 per year for maintenance. So it's only $12 per year for maintenance of this software. It's not, you won't be paying 299 daily per year. You only be paying $120. Sorry, $120 per year. $12 is monthly. You'll only be paying $120 per year to maintain your software. So I think, Jeff Ono, I've answered your question. So if you purchase now, you'll just be paying $120 per year in order to maintain your license. Yes, there are offers for students. Yeah, I know it's quite difficult for students to get access to these softwares. So for students, it goes to about, is it $50? That's around 5,000 Kenya shillings in order to purchase the software. But I'll just confirm that with the sales and marketing team. So if you are interested, you can just send us your mail so that at least I can forward you some of this information. So for the unanswered questions, I'll get back to you with your answers on your mail. So I've only 5 minutes, 3 minutes basically, in order to get all the questions that you guys might want. Thanks, Sikoli Felix, for the wonderful words that you just said. Thank you. So for the videos, I'll be forwarding them onto your mails, probably by tomorrow. We'll get at least to forward every information in regards to that. Also visit our YouTube page for these videos. I'll be sending you a link to our YouTube page. We have quite a number of projects that we've done on our YouTube page that you can just follow along and try to see some of the things that we've done. But for more For more information, it's better for you to come to our offices or do the online, schedule an online training with us. Yeah, we also offer Tekla software training for the engineers. We are also the authorized training and certification center for Autodesk. So if for your training needs for Autodesk, just come visit our offices or visit our website for that. So I don't think there are any more questions. Okay, okay, that I answered. I think I answered. Also, I forgot to mention we have upcoming basically webinars. Register for them. We'll be sending links for them on your emails addresses. So register for the upcoming webinars. They are also quite important for you, for especially for guys who are in the construction industry. And I think that's it. Thank you, and I really appreciate I really appreciate the fact that you guys took your time to join the webinar. And if it wasn't for you, the webinar wouldn't be this interactive. Thank you very much. Have a good day.